I'm on anti-anxiety meds myself, so I can talk. Some of the medications do really, really mellow you out. Like to the point where you could be standing in the middle of your house being on fire, and you'd be like, oh, well, it's just stuff.
You are in better anxiety medication than I am.
It's just stuff. What's yours? What? What's the difference in experience
my
here?
My anxiety medication doesn't help like most at all.
Oh.
The pills I take, it's like, maybe a little bit, but I'm still freaking out about
weird.
whatever stupid thing.
Like how you left moon pies in your car?
Well,
is that ruining your day right now?
No,
okay.
They're still in that box. It's not gonna like get over the seats or anything.
What if it did? What if it popped?
Then I don't really care.
You could lick your seats.
I don't want to lick
like
furry chocolate seats.
Do you not really want that? You're looking at me, and I don't see honesty in those eyes. I see, well, if I was having a day...
This isn't a discussion about my low standards. We know where my standards lie. The point is, that in particular doesn't stress me out.
Okay, well, that's good.
That is good. What if you had your window open a little bit and butterflies got in there?
Why would you even say that, dude?
Have you ever had a situation where you were, like, in a small space with, like, a fluttery being?
Butterfly house is the only situation I regularly come... Not regularly. Whenever I'm at a butterfly house, you run into butterflies.
How many times have you been in a butterfly house?
Probably 5 or 6 times.
How is it more than twice?
How many times have you been in a butterfly house?
Like, twice. And butterflies are great. They're
How many
cute.
times have you been to a zoo?
4, 5.
Okay.
Do you have to go in the... No one's forcing your hand here. What?
Oh, yes, they have.
What?
You're telling me, you and I, for whatever reason, go to the zoo. You see a butterfly house, you don't go, oh. Everyone I know who I've ever gone to the zoo with is aware I don't like butterflies.
So why wouldn't you just be like, fuck you, I'm not going in the butterfly house?
Because at the end of the day, I recognize it's funny, and I'm one for bits.
Oh, God.
So.
Okay. Alright. So you don't get to... Alright. We don't blame the butterflies for this. It's you. Butterflies are an innocent bystander here.
I don't know if that's ever true about butterflies.
Monarch butterflies?
You know what they say about stepping on a butterfly? It'll set off a
chain of
earthquake,
events?
And that only applies to time travel scenarios, but...
I'm pretty sure that literally only applies to Ashton Kutcher. Which, by the way, I don't hate that movie, Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect 3.
Okay.
Watch that one.
Just the first one.
Go watch the third. Well, skip Butterfly Effect 2. I don't know how... I skipped Butterfly Effect 2. Didn't miss a thing. Watched Butterfly Effect 3. Time travel shenanigans in which a sister wants to fuck her brother. Boom. Go watch that movie.
I didn't even realize there was more than one Butterfly Effect.
Yeah. It's because they're bad direct-to-DVD sequels. They're terrible.
Oh.
They're terrible. Watch the third one, though. It's
that
funny.
Explains it.
What's your favorite Ashton Kutcher production?
Oh my God,
Christy.
My favorite Ashton Kutcher production.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I remember like 3 things
I don't know.
It's gotta be that '70s show, right?
Mila Kunis' career.
Wow, that's a good answer.
Nice.
No, I like that answer. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm about it. Well, poor Mila Kunis. Is she?
Mila Kunis is doing fine.
Is she? What's she up to?
She still does Family Guy regularly. She's had that voice gig forever.
Yeah,
so.
and they're at their peak.
Oh, I'm talking like financially. She's like making tons of money. I mean,
I guess I would appreciate a voice acting role.
Mila Kunis is really funny, actually. She's in this movie Extract.
I've seen that.
Which is a Mike Judge movie.
5-6 years old though.
Yeah. I know. I'll look. Hold on. Mila Kunis.
She shacked up with what's his face for a long time, and now they're not together. The one from Home Alone. What's his name?
Macaulay Culkin.
Oh,
That's the one. I can only think
yeah.
of his brother, Kieran Culkin. That's the first time in history someone has only been able to think of Kieran instead of Macaulay.
All right. Mila Kunis is IMDb. Let's see what she got, Mila. Her name is Mila.
She's from like she's got Russian heritage or something.
Okay.
Czech or something like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was in Jupiter Ascending though. That's
the one I think of as the mark of her. She was also in Book of Eli.
She wasn't in Book of Eli.
Yeah, she was. What the fuck? She was the girl that wasn't Denzel Washington.
Oh, sorry, I was thinking Book of Henry, not Book of Eli.
I don't know what that is.
A different movie. Bad movie. Oh, she was in Annie, the 2014 version.
Did I ever tell you my story about Book of Eli? Did you see Book of Eli?
I did.
Okay, so
I kind of liked it, but I'm open to debate on that.
Yeah, I was like, when I saw it, I was like, that was a movie that I didn't hate.
It's been such a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, well, the end, it's the Bible. Yeah, we all knew it was the Bible the whole time.
But
I saw it in our local theater, and there was a very large African American woman, not too far away from me, which is pretty standard for our theater. But in this particular case, she was very, very pro Denzel Washington. And her commentary included phrases like, I'd lather him up like a rack of ribs. That's one pretty boy. And my favorite, after, I think, he dies at the end of that movie?
No, I don't
Spoilers for Book of Eli?
I think they take him to go copy down the rest of the book.
Right, but the implication is he dies at the end. Like, he dies from his injuries while they copy their book, and he translates it, and then...
yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, that's the... Okay, so anyway...
that sounds right.
Yeah, because he totally dies... Because Mila walks out with the book at the end alone.
Okay.
And then it's implied that he dies. She goes, man, they always trying to keep the black man down. I was like,
my God.
I love this lady.
Yeah.
She ruined my theater experience, but I love her. So that's my memory of Book of Eli.
Mila Kunis was in Oz the Great and Powerful as the Wicked Witch. Did you see that one, Jake?
No.
Oh, bad.
Not good. See,
so bad.
I like the Zooey Deschanel Tin Man.
Yeah, that was good.
The series, the miniseries?
Sure.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He was good in Black Swan. That's a really good movie.
Yeah, that's fine. That's Darren Aronofsky, right?
Was it?
I believe it was.
It comes off as very much
Aronofsky.
him. It's him.
I think he just wanted, and I don't blame him. I think he just wanted those two to fuck on screen.
There's a lot to go. I know.
You write that movie around that.
I
scene.
know everyone brings up the lesbian sex scene. It's a really good movie.
To be fair, it's spoilers for Black Swan. It's just masturbation, right? That's all it is. It's just a little fap sesh. Nothing to be embarrassed about.
And Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
That is actually a very good comedy.
Yeah.
But again, all of these we're approaching 10 years ago.
Oh, I get it.
For her peak.
Well, consistently, she's been doing television work on Family Guy, too.
Yep.
Okay.
During all this
And
time.
she's a mom now, so she doesn't have as much time as she used to.
Sure, and she did that movie Bad Moms, which is also getting a sequel or something. So
Was it good?
I didn't see it. I don't know.
Oh.
I haven't seen it yet. The trailer looks amusing, but then again, they usually put the good jokes in the trailer, and then everything else sucks, so I don't know.
I'm trying to think of my favorite, like, all-woman comedy, and it's still Bridesmaids, I think. That's amazing.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Bridesmaids?
No.
That is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Okay.
And, it's what I hoped for when they cast, like, Ghostbusters.
Sure.
I was like, oh, God, please be Bridesmaids, but Ghostbusters. It wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. Like, for some reason, all-women ensemble comedies have the same problem that, like, let's make a black comedy, where it's, like, tropes of those groups. Whereas Bridesmaids was, like, really, like, everyone's a person, but also they're funny. Like, it wasn't that they were women, it was just, you know what I'm saying? Like how black comedies are like, oh, we're black. Like Barbershop, for instance.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because there's a lot of people who write those scripts who aren't the thing that they're trying to take advantage of.
Yeah. Right, like, was it Paul Feige?
I'm looking to see if Paul Feige directed Bridesmaids as well, because
I don't know, but it was really good. I think he was riding off the Bridesmaids train, right?
Yeah, he directed Bridesmaids.
But he didn't write it, right? Did he write it? Because it's really good.
No, Kristen Wiig wrote Bridesmaids.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's a woman.
Whereas Paul Feig and someone else had co-writing credits on Ghostbusters.
You go.
My favorite black comedy of all time, where they make... Well, I say that because
I understand.
the intention is that it is a black comedy, not that there's, is Black Dynamite. It's amazing.
That's a parody of
it's a
genre, though.
No, it's a parody of blaxploitation. Yeah. It's not a parody of black comedies. It's a really good black comedy making fun of blaxploitation. It's so good. It's easily one of my favorites of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you know how Black Panther was just a good movie by itself.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's man, really happy about that one. Anyway.
Any hoozles.
Anyway, what's your favorite white man comedy?
Oh God.
Those are rare. They're rare and few, and there's not a lot to pick from.
They're only 90% of everything. 95 probably.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
I would have to say any of the Monty Python movies.
Yeah.
Any of those.
I think does that okay? So Taika Waititi, not necessarily, just like Caucasian in heritage. But is What We Do in the Shadows a white guy comedy?
That is specifically a very New Zealand comedy.
Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows?
I haven't seen it yet, but I am a fan of the one guy that was also in Flight of the Conchords.
Justin Tremaine?
Or
something like that?
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
But have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
Yes.
Okay, so Taika Waititi is the director of Thor Ragnarok, and he played Korg, the rock guy, who was hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, he was.
It's do you know the premise of What We Do in the Shadows?
It has something to do with vampires trying to, or not just vampires, but monsters trying to blend into everyday life.
Yeah, and they live together. It's a mockumentary. It's kind of like Spinal Tap. It's a mockumentary of them all living in the same house, and it's just fucking great. And if you have Amazon Prime, this is for everybody. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. Go watch it.
I think it's also on HBO now, if anyone has
I've seen it like 4 times since you showed it to me.
It's very funny.
It's so great.
That, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, are like 2 comedies I can watch pretty much whenever and just put them on in the background.
I also like I Love You, Man.
Yeah, that one's good. Anything with Jason Segel, he's got a really laid-back kind of... Yeah, watch my movie, or don't, whatever.
Yeah.
Here's Kermit the Frog, like, whatever, Although, did you see The Discovery?
That one's really good.
I thought that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. That one's about offing yourself.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. It has a happy ending for a movie so full of suicide.
Yeah, it does.
Have you seen that one yet?
I have not.
You should. It's
Also
on Netflix. It's called The Discovery. Check it out.
What are some, like,
It's not a comedy, though. That is a...
It's a dark comedy, and sometimes...
sure.
But it's more of a drama.
It's more of a drama.
And a mystery sci-fi. It's very good. But what are, like, if you were, I don't know, writing your will, and you got past all the important stuff, and then you were like, okay, but seriously, though, these are the movies you have to watch. We're past all the legal mumbo-jumbo. Watch these fucking movies.
I would probably make my son sit down and watch at least one Monty Python movie.
Are we going Holy Grail, Life of Brian?
I think I would probably make him watch Life of Brian, just because I think that I think he takes things too seriously, and he really needs to watch that movie, and he needs to just have it drilled into his head, not to take things that seriously.
Your son takes things too seriously?
Yes, he's 11, but he's also high-functioning autistic, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Going to school was like sending him to Auschwitz every day. So.
Oh, that's so sad. I have a good buddy of mine. He is a DM in a Dungeons & Dragons games I play, and we bitch about him sometimes because he has a very list-like memory. So he likes to categorize things like that because he's in Brown right now. He is high functioning autistic, and like he's smart as a whip, but like he lists things and I can tell when he gets frustrated too. But I can tell you, they're usually better people than like my brain. Like my brain is all over the fucking place, and Dom, God, he's just so smart and he remembers everything, and I resent him sometimes for his good memory. So
that's my son already. Like, if he comes to the grocery store with me and I wander away from what I put down on the list, like, oh, those cookies look good. No, we're on a diet.
I like that.
Okay, you're
like
right.
Having a life
you're
coach
right.
for free. Well, not really free. I don't think any kid is free.
A more expensive, less certified life coach.
Is it? Okay, but you love them, so the expense is kind of cut a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you want them to survive and have shelter, right? So it's not like a life coach where, like, I don't know about this bill. You're like, nah, no, but I like this one.
Well, there is the legal mandate that until he's 18, I have to keep him fed and sheltered.
Yeah.
But, you know,
that probably helps. That probably helps.
I do love him.
Every preteen and teenager's life out. I'm sure it helped mine. Like, oh, it's illegal to abandon me? Yeah, no, that's probably important to have.
Yeah, I remember my preteen years, and I'm glad that there are laws, because my mom very easily would have been justified in killing me.
Dude, there would be like Gerard Butler 300 Sparta wells filled with teenagers if it was legal to off us when we were teenagers.
We gotta dig a fourth pit.
That shit was endless. No.
So before the teenage years, you have the whole hormones and biological thing to tie you to your kid. And then around 13, that's when the law steps in.
So is that your oldest then?
He's my only.
Oh, only? Well,
yes.
That's
yeah. We decided after we had him that that's it. We can't do it anymore. Good. No more.
You know what though? I respect that, because some people don't understand their limits of parenting.
Yeah.
And it's like
if they end up having so many kids that none of them really gets any decent attention.
Like Hugo, you grew up with just yourself.
Yeah.
You're a person. And then,
that's debatable.
So, my parents only had two, and I know exactly why they stopped after my brother existed. Because I was a very easy kid. I was very easy. So they were probably like, oh, this is cake. Let's make another kid. This is fucking... He just sits around and, like, is agreeable. Okay, let's make another one. Oh, that one? That one's gonna get into a low-speed chase in a $500 car at 12 years old through a subdivision. That's real.
Your brother was in a slow speed
It was
chase.
like 30 miles an hour.
Oh my god!
Was it just with the local sheriff in
in that small town we grew up in? Yeah. And so he got So that
was an idiot. Why?
Yeah. Well,
because he was driving. Did he steal the car?
So you know how it is out there. Sometimes like we all learned to drive. Maybe you didn't, but it's very woodsy out there. Like I literally grew up in the woods. You can't see my house from Google Maps.
Right. Street view.
You can't see it. They didn't go down the road.
Oh, okay.
There's no street view.
Yeah, Google passed by and it's like no one wants to know.
Not the house next to where you grew up.
Yeah.
Because we actually comedically neighborish for most of our lives at this point.
Wow.
But although the second time around it was on purpose, but
yeah.
My first house before my parents got their divorce, which was just good for everybody. We lived out in the woods, and so we had 14 acres. So I knew how to drive and stuff before I got my license on our property.
Yeah.
So my brother knew how to drive. Well, my dad worked shift work, right?
Yeah.
So he was gone for at least 12 to more like 14 hours a day because of the commute. And so my brother took it upon him, because I was gone because I'm a teenager.
Sure.
My brother took it upon himself to just take one of the cars, and my dad had this little $500 hatchback thing just for something to have extra in case anything happened to the truck or whatever.
Okay.
So we took that, and it was a stick shift, and he picked up all his friends, and they started having a joyride, and a cop is like, okay, that's a child. I'm gonna pull that over, and because it's a small town, he knows my brother's face.
That's a really dumb thing to do in that small community.
Yeah.
Where I mean, there's like one traffic light. You stop at it.
Yeah, and for
all the cars are really close together. The businesses are close enough to see you from the window.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's a tiny, tiny town. So yeah, he got into a low-speed chase in the subdivision over there next to the school,
where our former employers lived.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's funny.
Wow.
Yep.
Did the cop like drag him home to your parents and be like, "Hey, here's this fucking kid"?
Yeah, he got. I mean, he didn't get arrested or anything, but there was a court. I wasn't really involved in any of that. Yeah, he got his license pre-suspended for a little bit, and then they had to pay a fee to get it lifted by the. He couldn't get it at 16 or something, but he could get it at 17, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know all the details, but there was something with his license that was a problem.
Weird.
But yeah, so he got a vasectomy.
Did he really?
My dad got a vasectomy.
Oh, I thought.
No, not Caleb.
I thought you were your brother. I was gonna be like, good for him. Way to be proactive about that.
No. He should get a vasectomy, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have nieces and nephews at some point in my life.
They're
all gonna they're gonna be like beef jerky people.
At this point,
do you understand what I'm saying here?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It makes me sad that out of your mom's 2 offspring,
I'm the one.
He's the one that's going to continue the line.
I'm the one that ought to, if I'm real responsible, if I care about my family lineage, which I don't. I should be the one to procreate.
Yeah.
No. Probably not gonna happen. And if I do, it'll be one or an adopted child that doesn't really count. Right? So.
Well, is he at least attractive? Because maybe he can say
he's alright. He's 3 years younger than me, but he has already gone bald. But he's not bad looking.
Okay.
I'd say he's a Saginaw. He's a solid Saginaw 7.
Yeah, like you got the camo thing going on.
He's a 4 everywhere else, but that's okay. So am I.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Nah, it's good. He's got straight teeth. He's a mechanic. He's a much better adult than he was a child.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I am very...
Maybe he can snag someone who can raise good children then.
Well, he has a girlfriend now, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
So, I'm keeping my judgment to myself as to whether or not... I don't know what that looks like as a family. So...
I'm glad I don't have any siblings.
So...
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, siblings aren't that... like, he was a little annoying at times, but, like... I don't know. I guess I don't have a frame of reference. I only have 3 years without one.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So...
I don't have any frame of reference for the universe not revolving around me, so...
Well...
I resemble that remark. No.
Are you an only child as well?
I am, and that's why after we, like, right away, the first 6 months after Davy, that's my son's name,
yeah.
we thought that I thought that we were going to have more, but then my husband decided, I think I better have the quote-unquote come to Jesus talk with Christy about, about things like finances and, mental health and being good parents, and we ultimately decided that one was enough, so I think we did the right thing.
I think that's good, though.
Yeah.
Like,
there are too many fucking people on this planet.
Besides even population, let's just say we could, if everyone had 8 kids, we could sustain that. People having 1 kid or 2, like... That shows, like, oh, I'm cognizant that parenting is a job that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I respect that.
That's why I hate
Exactly. It's easy to, when you are in that baby mode, it's easy to sit there and say, oh, I can do this. But once the hormones go away and the sleep deprivation kicks in and you have to go to work all day, tired as blank, there's no way. I realized fairly quickly after I went back to work that I can't do that for more than 1 kid. That's insane. I don't know how people do that with, like, twins even seems outrageous, but triplets, or they just have them quickly in succession, like 5 under 6 or something. I don't understand how people can retain any kind of sanity when
some people
they
can
do that.
raise 8 kids and it's no problem. They all turn out like regular people, but like Jesus.
The quiverful people, like the Duggars that had like 20 kids or whatever. Like, I get it, and some were some by adoption, or were those all natural? Like,
I want to say they were all natural, but I don't know for sure.
I think they were all natural, but I could be wrong.
Like, at the point you have 20 kids in your house, you're not even you're their parent, but you're not. You're more like a supervisor, and you're just trying to control the chaos.
You have to delegate at that point, and that's why, like, you see a lot of the
older kids, like, parent the younger kids. It's really messed up, but...
Yeah.
Right, and that's another thing. I didn't want my son to lose his childhood by being my, unofficial babysitter. So, so that's what we decided.
Yeah.
And look at Hugo. He turned out great. He's an only child. So there you go. We did the right thing.
I don't know if I'm the standard by which you should set the standards for your child. But by all means, do so.
Okay.
It's a meetable expectation.
It's a very meetable expectation. I'm just saying, he can shoot higher. I believe in him.
I think he can too, but you know what? He wants to be a YouTuber, and he's already kind of on the Hugo path, so I'm just learning to accept him as he is.
Do you know that is actually a thing kids want to do now?
Oh yeah, I talked to my aunt about this because my aunt's a psychiatrist, and she's told me several times how she deals with a lot of young people because she deals with her speciality is eating disorders and get a lot of high school age girls and stuff.
Sure.
In middle school or whatever. Like, all of them want to do fucking YouTube and do, like, makeup tutorials or whatever they particularly want to do. It's a huge thing, and she's had to, like, tell them before, like, oh yeah, she's, like, intentionally has, wanted to tell people, but then been like, I can't tell them, because then they'll think they can actually do it.
Yeah.
It's not easy,
No, it's not. I've said to her before, like, you can tell them, but just tell them it's a lot of work, and it's like...
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta be able to turn it on, man. To be fair, when you and I are in the same room, we don't really turn it off anyway, so it's not like a ton of effort to like get to a point. But to do it every day, it takes. There's a little narcissism.
Oh yeah.
There's.
I don't believe there's a single non-narcissist working on YouTube today. Fact.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a little bit of. I think we're good at it. We don't get up our own ass. But a lot of people do.
No one does this because they hate attention.
No, and of course there's attention-seeking behavior, but, again, there's healthy ways to do that. Like, I think we are healthy in the way, and some of our peers are healthy in that way. And then there's people like, Jake Paul or something, where he'll it's harmful shit that he does.
Sure.
Or, anyone that makes prank videos, stuff like that. Like, there's a line, and I think... especially those who do it real young, like child stardom it fucks you up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
the only successful thing I've ever seen, I think Bo Burnham is the best story of YouTube success.
Yeah,
he started on YouTube. He actually he directed a movie.
Yeah.
Recently, and it won like one of the best awards at I forgot what film festival it was, but it's coming out. Was it Sundance? It might have been Sundance. Was it recently? Was Sundance recently?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway,
Cannes was recently.
It might have been Cannes.
Where they clap all the time.
Yeah, but his new movie's supposed to be really good too. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. Justin Bieber came out on YouTube, and he had a little bit of a situation, but I guess he's better now. I don't know.
I think he went through what a lot of young kid who get famous too quick becomes a total douchebag because no one tells you no,
Yeah,
but I think
telling you no.
I think at a certain point he had a point of self-reflection where he looked back, and I don't know. I don't follow Justin Bieber. I don't know what he's up to, but I haven't heard negative things lately, so I guess he might be doing okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the most common version of this is with sports people, though. Outside of YouTube and stuff.
There's a documentary series on Netflix, again, really good, Last Chance U, that deals with a lot of kids who kind of came out of the high school being hot shit athletes, and then they went to college and screwed up doing something dumb, and they sent to this, I don't know even what division school it is. It's
like a Division III school in Mississippi.
Yeah, and it's like either you get your grades up and you keep your behavior good, or you're off and you're not playing football anymore, and that's all they want to do because they want to get into the NFL at some point.
And a lot of them do.
Yeah, sure. But that's an interesting
I suppose there's this... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that was it. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I suppose there's a certain kind of logic to that, kind of dangling a carrot in front of a student who hasn't applied himself.
Yeah.
But then again, not all kids have the ability to be, you know, A students all around. Some kids are better in math, some are better in writing or English, and I don't know. I have real problems with the way our public school system is run, and anyways, that's my beef.
Yeah. I do too. I mean, I was in school to teach, and it is a pretty fucky system in general, I think.
Is Common Core still a thing?
I was not a party to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, a big problem with Common Core, and kind of just the testing in general, is, and it's the same reason I have a problem with math, is there's not a lot of flexibility in it.
Yep.
And the way my brain works is always, we're good at improv, and
Sure.
We're more on. I'm like a creative with no creative talent besides speaking.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
So
I'm the same way. I'm great in English. I can write you a fucking paper.
right, but I can't.
Math, it's like
Yeah, and so it's too restrictive for me, and that's a problem with Common Core. So if you aren't good at following steps, which I am not, because anytime anyone even suggests me like I ought to do something, I don't want to.
That's the thing. There's a word for that, actually. I forget
Being
what it is.
obstinate asshole.
No, there's a
I'm definitely that.
There's actually a word for the cognitive phenomenon where you maybe like you were gonna wash the dishes, but then someone tells you, "Hey, will you wash the dishes?" And then you're like, "Fuck you! I don't want to wash the dishes."
Yeah,
now.
it's very much like that. It's not
There's a
it's
name
not
for
like
it.
controlling in my life, but it's a thing I have to fight.
Yeah.
I win more often than I lose, but when I lose, I just I shut off and I'm not doing the thing. Fuck you. It might be because of it might be part of my daddy issues, but I wasn't a stripper, but I won't wash the dishes if you ask. So
Sure.
but Common Core, it makes you a fact reciter instead of synthesizing the learning, because
Exactly.
the way I would teach is, okay, here's the book thing. Let's take notes. And I know notes suck, but you can keep the notes and use them on the test, and that's kind of the point, because the idea is we're reading and rereading and copying, and you synthesize it, and you can use it to tell a story, because I just taught history, so it's not math. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like more people, because you can do that in many different ways, because most people have learning modalities. Well, everyone has learning modalities, but most people have certain sets of those. So, like, you might be more tactile, or more visual, or more auditory. So, like, if you want to take a recorder into my classroom and record the notes, we'll see if that works on your test scores, and if it does, you can keep doing that. Like, because you can just listen to it back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It kind of shuts people down that way. There was a study a while ago where, like, if you do the same test to people with the same GPA across the country, the language of it, depending on where you're from, really affects it. I think the example they used was like inner city Chicago, where the public schools are not very good. But they have a 4.0 GPA or whatever, the best students in each class, or an East Coast school where they're usually their standards are much higher. Yeah. If you use language in, like, say, a word problem, like, Mozart made this many sheets of music. If he did this, how many musics, whatever. But
is it about?
But because you and I know who Mozart is, we skip over that. But now a kid I use Chicago as the example. It doesn't have to be Chicago. It doesn't have to be inner city black kid. But like a Native American reservation, maybe.
Sure.
Or
there's implicit cultural stuff that we're bringing to the table that makes the problem make sense in the first place.
And also, so they're stuck on who the fuck is Mozart? Why is there sheet music involved? Like,
Right.
and so they get bogged down in that, and they might still get the right answer, but it's just a harder trudge because colloquially speaking.
Yeah.
So my proposition for this kind of Common Core stuff was like, have each like county or however you break it up. Like in Louisiana, it's parishes. Here, it's counties. Somewhere it might be something else. Township. Have the superintendents and stuff get together and vote on like how to put those together, like colloquially speaking. It's more work, but it's the only way to do it because you can't do a federal level.
I can understand your thought behind that, but my concern would be like, for instance,
gerrymandering people out of education, because that's my concern as well.
That, and as well as local places where, for instance, maybe there's a certain political leaning a certain way, or you know what I mean, rewording questions in certain ways to imply certain things. I don't know. That concerns me, and I feel like there's also lots of points of. We see stories of terrible school administration, you know what I mean? It concerns me that many people would be involved in the process of transcribing a test that is supposed to be universal to another medium. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like, I'm not saying it doesn't need to be transcribed. I don't trust them in particular to do it well.
I don't know who to do that unless you did at a federal level one. If you got representatives from each roughly as many communities as you could. So each state has 10 representatives from geographically different points or something.
I don't know.
Based on size.
The only thing that really bugs me, the thing that bugs me the most, and your particular thing is history, so this will probably bug you too. The thing that needs to change
is
in modern history
American
classes,
fetishization.
That, and I don't think a single class in my entire career in public schooling ever got to Vietnam. It never got past World War II. Like, it's in the book, we just never get there, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Which leads to a lot of people not knowing what the fuck happened in recent history.
Well, it also makes you go, communism bad.
Yeah.
When necessarily speaking, it's not just bad on, in general, it's bad in practice when humans do it in that way. Like, there's elements of that belief system, like socialism in general, that seems to work, like socialized medicine.
I think that's why communists and Nazis or whatever, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are actual Nazis now, too. They've made that fairly clear. But why Nazi and like, communist are the two things that have been thrown out so much?
Yeah.
It's because in American high school we only get up to World War II, and that's the two things we know.
Yeah. Well, you always know Cold War, but what do you know about the Cold War? Russia bad.
Rocky, and I think Rocky punched Ivan Drago and he dropped the Iron Curtain.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people only know about Vietnam like from their parents or in some cases grandparents, and those stories it changes based on that particular soldier's experience in Vietnam. My father fought in Vietnam. He was drafted. He couldn't afford to run away. But that didn't change the fact that he still hated the war and he hated why he was there. Yeah. And, but that also doesn't tell me what happened, why we even sent people there. All I hear is like his slant on the history. So I agree. I think it's unfair. I think we need to have a change so that we're not painting America in such a bright, rosy picture. But at the same time, we also say, but, we did make some mistakes, but this is why we thought we needed to do something about it in the first place.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely fine with framing it that we thought we were right because we did.
Yeah.
They. But, like, I would love, personally, to be able to teach, and it's, besides the channel, this is part of the reason, just my life was very busy, but I haven't gone back yet, because the state's education and just the federal education got real rough. And now people shoot us at schools. So, gonna avoid that for a little bit longer.
All you have to do is get a gun license and then you're prepared for that, right?
As soon as you have a gun on your hip, you're immune.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it works. Makes me safe. But, God, don't get me going about guns. You thought Jordan Peterson makes people mad. I just said the word guns with slightly a negative intonation, and they'd be like, "Oh, libtard cuck."
My whole thing about the whole gun issue is I don't care if you want guns for hunting, that's fine. I eat meat. Great. Kill the animal so I don't have to. But you don't need an AK-47 to take down a deer. You don't need that to take down, whatever you're trying to hunt. Those kinds of guns probably don't need to be available to the public as easily as they are.
I would agree. But did you see that Tesla just put out flamethrowers?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, God.
I did. That was
It's freedom, bro.
It was. They were doing it to raise money for something. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, I know that conservatives hate Elon Musk.
Why?
Because he's pro-science.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also like him because he's free market.
Sure.
So, like, does this tip the scales? Is he now, like... Is he getting to get a MAGA hat soon? I don't know how that works. Do we give him a pin?
I actually don't know Elon Musk's political leanings. I'd imagine he...
I think he's a libertarian.
Yeah, that about
well,
makes sense.
He thinks we live in a simulation.
I've heard he doesn't treat his employees very well.
Yeah.
Sorry, people. I mean, Elon Musk, glad he's working on things. Glad he's putting money into research and stuff. That's great. Heard the working conditions suck, though.
Yeah.
Can't abide by that.
Nope. Not at all.
I really want this flamethrower, though. That's awesome. It even looks cool for a flamethrower.
Yeah, it's got like a... It looks like a white version of the Alien flamethrower.
Yeah, and it says Boring on it, because that's the name of the company. The
Boring
Company.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a boring flamethrower. Yeah, I can't even say the word.
It's because it's for its drill company that bores things.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
No, it's because it's boring. It's just you sit down, try to have a conversation with it, and it says nothing in return. It's very boring.
Elon Musk hosts a boring flamethrower party. There we go. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's going to make a really good Elon Musk in the biopic that definitely comes out about his drug overdose.
Oh, that's going to happen. Yeah. That's so going to happen. Good call.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get shot into the sun while doing heroin or something, and it's going to be crazy.
God.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know. However Elon Musk dies, it's going to be nuts.
The Hyperloop crashes directly into Thunderfoot.
Well, at this point, it has to be. He can't just die of a heart attack. I mean,
well, how boring
it's so
would that be?
anticlimactic.
What if we find out it was a bionic heart, though, and it actually jumps out of his chest and attacks him?
The heart has been in control the whole time.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
It wasn't really a heart. It was a tiny spaceship. There was an alien inside of it.
I've been trying to get back to my planet the whole time!
Mark Zuckerberg goes, hop in! And he opens his skull, and the alien jumps in, and then they fly away.
Yeah, that about makes sense.
Now, if anyone looks like someone controlled by an alien, it is Zuckerberg. He does have that face, not quite human face.
What a weird guy.
He concerns me because...
You ever see the compilations of, like, his periscopes or whatever, or his just live streams where he's like, today we're eating some ribs. Yeah, we're having some meat today on the old barbecue. Having some barbecue meat on the barbecue. It's like, Mark.
He has fuck everyone money,
yeah.
And not only money, but a platform from which he can do whatever he wants.
Why isn't he Dr. Doom yet?
He creeps me out, and he has too much time and money and power and can do whatever the fuck he wants.
He's gonna be fucking. He's gonna have a mountain with lava coming out the top, and he's gonna have a green cape and steel armor. And we're gonna be like, we should have seen this coming.
We're super lucky he's not charismatic.
Yeah,
think about that.
He could easily be president of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead he's
Instead he just probably amuses himself by reading our Facebook messages, and I don't know.
I haven't sent a Facebook message in a while. Do you think Mark's waiting?
Yeah.
Like, man, I really want to spy on that Jake guy.
Yeah.
Papa Bird Jake. Wonder what he's teaching his little chicklets about.
I wonder if he ever grew a full beard, or if it's still going to be this profile picture when he gets back. I have not touched my Facebook in fucking ages.
I know you haven't.
Oh man, it feels good. But I have touched Twitter. Do you have Twitter? Are you
have Twitter?
Are you addicted to any social media? Are you an Instagram person?
I am an Instagram person. It's the last one that I can't get rid of. I got off I'm still on Facebook, but that's mostly for family, so I'm not on there that often.
You mean it's mostly for family to mark them as do not invite to the holidays?
Pretty much, yes. The ones who don't see me or my family very often, but they still want pictures. That's them. And then Twitter, I just would get way too angry and too frustrated, and I wasn't saying things right, and I'd get into fights with people I didn't even know, stressing myself out.
How many times did you get accused of an ad hominem on Twitter before you uninstalled?
Oh God, I don't know. Probably way too many times for any normal, intelligent person to justify sticking around.
Well, I'm still there, so that adds up. That tracks.
But you have a purpose. You have a purpose. You're marketing for your solo run company. Well, not solo run. Sorry, Hugo. Your company.
Yeah. I deserve a raise, asshole. So what's your Instagram about? Is it just food and stuff, or what do you got going on there? I don't Insta.
It's usually just about, my cats feature on there pretty regularly.
Cats are very popular Instagram thing.
Yeah. And sometimes my kiddo, if he lets me take his picture, sometimes he doesn't. And sometimes I do, and he looks like a psychopath because he doesn't smile that often. So his neutral face isn't very calm and pleasant. I don't know why.
Your son has resting bitch face.
Yes.
I absolutely love parents that are like, you know what, my kid is not perfect.
Well, he's, as a parent, you have to acknowledge that, because I think it's a disservice to the kid to put them on this platform as some angel who, aces everything they do, because that's not true. It's not attainable, and when you're doing that, you're basically saying, yeah, I don't like him the way he is. This is the kid I wish I had. And I just don't want to do that. That's not me.
I think that's
I'm
nice.
not. Well, thank you.
Will you adopt Hugo?
I've been thinking about that. We do have the similar thing with our teeth. I had a crown that popped out, and I haven't had a chance to save enough money to get it replaced. So I'm currently doing the Hugo look with my teeth right now.
Let's let it catch on. Can we get some more people on board with this? Maybe I don't have to spend money to correct my dentistry. Everyone just knock out one of your canines. I'm good.
I'm actually missing a tooth in the back.
That's in the back.
I was playing football, and I fell. Well, okay, I didn't fall. I kept running into and over a rather scrawny. It was in high school. A rather scrawny classmate. His name is Brett. I still remember him, and I still remember this moment, and fuck you, Brett. So, he couldn't just tackle me normal, so I wasn't expecting his foot to pop out and for him to just trip me, but he did it. Well played. But the ball, because I'm holding onto the ball, and it squirts out a little bit, so I moved my right arm was on top, I moved it to the bottom to catch it, and didn't have enough time to also use one of my arms to stop me from falling on my face.
Sure.
So I fell directly on my face. And I mean, like in the cartoons, like in anime, where someone falls forward and they skid on their face.
Yeah.
I literally had on the left side of my face just a
road rash,
like road rash from the ground. Yeah. And my
Turf burn.
My back left, it's my back molar, not the wisdom tooth, but the one in front of it, cracked in half. Oh. And for years I didn't get that fixed. And just at one point it got a cavity in it, and I got it yanked right out. So I'm missing a tooth too. We're bros.
I have 3 teeth that might fall out. They will fall out. They're baby teeth.
You have baby teeth?
I have 3. I have 3
baby teeth.
Yes. I'm 24. I have 3 baby teeth. It's a mutation because I didn't have adult teeth to grow in behind them, so they're just hanging on until they fall out, and whenever they fall out, I just don't have teeth there. This one?
Oh.
So I'm gonna be missing. You can't see what I'm doing.
But at that point,
it's the opposite tooth that I'm already missing. So I'm basically gonna have a period of time at some point in the future.
Well, at that point,
where I'm just buck teeth. At that point, I will actually start.
I think at
fixing
that point,
things.
You fix it. But like, why now? It's kind of like I don't notice it unless we have this discussion. I don't think anyone else does either.
I think they notice, but at some point this will fall out. But in fixing it, they'd have to just pull it out anyway. So
yeah, but you don't have a face that makes me go, "Oh, you're trash."
Oh, that's
good.
I mean? And then this tooth and this tooth, but they're kind of on the side, so I don't know how.
Yeah, I think just eating in general is going to be.
I'll get fake ones eventually.
It's okay. Mac and cheese doesn't take a lot of tooth.
No.
Have mac and cheese on pizza.
Did you have mac and cheese?
You'll be fine.
The place down here makes pretty good mac and cheese pizza.
G's, the other pizza place around here, also does a mac and cheese pizza. I think it's better than the Milano's.
Oh yeah, man. Do you have a weird pizza preference, or are you a plain pizza eater?
I like shrimp on my pizza.
Oh,
I'm the only person I know.
No. I do shrimp pizza. You ever had? I've had smoked oysters on my pizza before.
I haven't done that yet, but I've really been curious about it.
It is.
I want to try something like that.
Yeah, you gotta really. You can't overdo it though, because they're real salty. So avoid the other salty bits. That was my first mistake.
So not that and bacon and.
It was that and bacon. It was that bacon and
bacon, anchovies, and shrimp.
Well, I think there might have been anchovies on it too. Now that I think about it, but yeah, it was a salt lick, but it was very good. After you pick off your mistakes, but man, there's an underrated,
just something about it.
There's an underrated value to seafood on pizza.
Yeah, I mean, who says pizza has to just be meat or veggies all the time? Why not seafood?
Let's
you two are heretics.
Now I just want like a fillet on my pizza.
Terrible.
That's what I want. Salmon pizza would be delicious. Smoked salmon pizza with like fresh mozzarella on it and like a pesto Oh, fuck me up with that.
Oh,
Get
man.
off my planet right now.
I don't think it's not your planet anymore, friend. We're going to rise up and take it. The salmon pizza eaters.
That's right.
We'll rise once again.
Jesus.
All three of us. I'll find a third person somewhere.
Well, there's got to be one out there. Well, we can get Anthony Fantano, the music review, the needle drop. He's a vegan, so we can get him on board with weird pizza. He probably likes cauliflower crust and shit.
If he's a vegan, he's not going to want fish pizza.
Nah, but I think
that's true.
Just for the sake of weird pizza, he should side with us.
I don't think
he can be ousted later after we use his support for our benefit.
This is sort of the Nazis making an agreement with the Soviet
it's like
Union.
an Iran-Contra thing going on with pizza.
It's going to fall apart, but...
Yeah. Well, eventually Hugo and I will then, say all pizza has to have meat on it, and then we lose the vegan support. But at that point, who cares? We've already got 2/3 of the pizza public on our side.
I'm saying, that's all we need. And then, but what do we do with Comet though?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Like, child trafficking, probably profitable.
I don't think being overlords of pizza gives you dominion over every pizza place.
Yeah, but I think
and certainly not George Soros' personal rape dungeon.
There's no way Hillary Clinton doesn't eat pretentious salmon pizza. There's just no universe
There's no universe where she doesn't eat it with a knife and fork.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And not to say that that's bad. I've had to do that with deep dish occasionally.
If you have to do it.
But not every single slice. That's just wrong.
She's from New York.
Yeah.
That's heretical.
Yeah, it is. It is. She should have her New York card taken away.
Yeah. Wait.
If it hasn't already been.
Yeah, because she met Bill, who was from Arkansas. They met at school.
Yep. Yeah.
But she's always been from New York, right?
I don't know.
Now I gotta know where she's from. This is just.
Well, she certainly doesn't have an Arkansas accent.
No,
so.
That's not true at all of her. Hillary Clinton. There we go. Hillary Duff, second option for Hillary's. Good job, Hillary.
She hasn't done anything in a while. Poor Hillary Duff. Wonder what Hillary Duff's up to. I'm gonna Google Hillary Duff.
She was born in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, New York, Chicago, close enough. They're both pizza capitals.
Exactly
That's also a pizza town, though. Just different kind of pizza.
It is, but if she has always gone to Chicago, they are famous for deep dish. I understand the fork and knife, and she gets a pass. Not something I was willing to grant her prior to this.
Right.
So let me see early life. Early life. Okay. Chicago. Oh yeah, there's just so much business folks. Look,
Hillary Duff's middle name is Erhard Hillary Erhard Duff.
Erhard?
Yeah.
Like wait, do you mean Earhart?
Earhard. Oh, is that how it is?
No, it's Erhard. It's not like Amelia Earhart. No, it's Erhard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
How unfortunate.
Huh.
That's awful. Poor Hillary Duff.
Maine East High School. Where's that? No, still Illinois. Okay, so she's an Illinois person. Okay. Here, I have to give Hillary Clinton a pass for the fork and knife pizza thing. She gets a pass.
Okay.
That's kind of rough.
Right.
I wasn't willing. But, facts over my fifis, right?
Yep.
This is a big win today in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah. Although, in all fairness, if she had been elected to the White House, she would probably be one of the reasons why marijuana would be repealed. Just because, big pharma and everything.
I totally disagree. Donald Trump got Jeff Sessions in there.
Yeah.
Staunchly anti-marijuana, and he hasn't been able to do shit so far. I don't think Hillary would have pushed on marijuana. She doesn't give a fuck.
I don't think she has any convictions.
Not particularly strong ones.
You're right. That's what. I don't think either of them. I think she has more.
She has more than Donald fucking Trump.
I can't believe. I think Hillary Clinton has more deeply held convictions than another human. But we found him. He won, though.
Yeah, he won.
Amazing.
He's not my guy, but he won.
Yeah, I mean, Hillary's not necessarily my lady either, but God, I'll go down on her if that means not this. I'll do it. I'll take one for the team. I'm a patriot.
Oh, dude. Drying cobwebs, dude. Drying cobwebs.
You blow it out. You got a shop vac. You get all the duck off.
Ew.
You bring some wipes with you, and you do it for America.
Hugo, what are you willing to do for America?
Not that. I'm willing to leave the second I get an opportunity.
Well, it's okay. You know, the one thing that I don't think Hillary would have done? Started a war with Canada.
Yeah, I think our relations with Canada, I think our relations with the rest of the world would probably be a lot better at this point.
Except Russia. We're doing great there. We're very popular in Russia.
Yeah, because if I want any world leader on America's side, it's Putin. Yeah.
Did you see it was a White House staffer, and I think, was it the New York? No, it wasn't the Post. It was maybe the New York Times or Associated Press. One of them reported on what the thesis of Donald Trump's meeting in North Korea was. And do you know what the quote was that Donald Trump said?
What?
"We're America, bitch."
He did not say that. Huh? What a fucking...
That was from a source, so I don't know how valid it is, but that's from a source in the White House using that quote, which means either they're making a joke at his expense, or that's actually what happened. And honestly, the fact that I can't tell...
That's the scary thing, isn't it?
We're living
the fact that you can't tell.
It's post-satire. We are well past any sort of, I don't know if there even is a line.
I don't know. I'm gonna dig up Jonathan Swift and see how he's doing. We could probably propel...
Jonathan Swift?
Jonathan Swift.
Who's that guy?
You know who fucking Jonathan Swift is? Gulliver's Travels?
Oh.
Father of modern...
I was still thinking about politicians.
No.
Okay.
Satire. Wrote a paper about eating babies.
Is that satirical?
Yeah. A modest proposal.
Oh, a modest proposal about eating babies?
He's like, I proposed that because it was being like, hey, stop fucking being slumlords, you assholes.
Right.
Oh.
Under the guise of, there's so many poor and having to pay high rents, we better eat the babies.
How many people agreed?
It was clearly satirical even at the time.
Okay, but if Donald Trump tomorrow wrote literally that exact
it is too many big words. He could not write that essay.
But what if it was just the White House puts forward... Jack Posobiec tomorrow on Twitter is like, I think he's got a point with the baby eating. Mike Cernovich is like, my guerrilla mentality says we should probably eat babies.
If that happened, I'd be like, the end of the world's coming quicker than I thought. It really accelerates near the end there. It's weird, but...
Yeah. It's a little like...
I've made peace with it.
It's like being in... Wow, what's that? Thelma and Louise?
Yeah.
You press the pedal down just a little bit harder right at the end, right before the cliff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the babies are the pedal to the metal. We just eat them, consume them.
You think Thelma and or Louise both died immediately on impact, or
No,
their bodies were...
I think Thelma probably turned the car a little bit.
Okay.
And
bodies broken but not dead, just suffering at the bottom of that.
There's a after the credits scene probably that got cut where she just shoots her hand out of the rubble.
She clawed her way through the rubble.
Yeah. We're gonna be back.
She's all beaten and battered. And
Susan Sarandon? Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like Susan Sarandon is probably actually a bionic woman anyway.
She's in Rocky Horror Picture Show. She has earned everything she's ever done.
Susan Sarandon is one of those people, kind of like, I can't remember her name. I can only think of Ellen Ripley. What's her name? Her real name?
Shit. Now you got me doing it.
Not Helen. Not Helen. Ripley. Sigourney Weaver.
Well, that's why I couldn't remember her name. Someone chose the noise Sigourney as her first name.
Sigourney.
Susan Sarandon and Sigourney Weaver are always in their not always, but in their younger years, we're always like, "Hey, look, isn't she very attractive?" And I always went, "I don't actually know the answer to that question. Yes, no."
I need to know more about her.
Right.
I think Rocky Horror Picture Show era Susan Sarandon is attractive.
Yeah, but I can't put it. You know how in The Office when they are like, what's her face from $1 Million Baby? Is she hot or not?
I haven't seen $1 Million Baby.
I haven't seen Karate Kid, the girl in the Karate Kid.
Oh, her.
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank. Not a fan of Hilary Swank.
Right, but the hot or not debate is valid.
Not. She is not.
Right, but I think she ends up being hot in that. So they voted on it and you lose. That's Office canon, friend.
Well, Gerard Butler thought she was hot.
Gerard Butler's another enigma, though. I know he's supposed to be. He's got the accent, so he's, charming, but,
He was also the Phantom.
Yeah.
He was. But if you take not cut up 300 Gerard Butler and dad bod Gerard Butler, is he, though? No one really knows.
In that what do I want to say, math teacher kind of way.
Right.
I could see him being attractive.
He was the dead husband to Hilary Swank in P.S. I Love You.
Yeah.
So, which, by the way, is a beautiful film you should watch anytime you need a good cry.
This is just making me think of Les Mis now and what a bad job he did, and it makes me sad.
Gerard Butler?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm thinking of Russell Crowe.
I'm thinking of Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
sorry.
I
was going to say, he wasn't in Les Mis.
I'm confusing how he fucked up the Phantom for how Gerard Butler fucked up Les Mis.
No, the other way around.
To cast someone as beautiful with such a good voice as Emmy Rossum against him. What a disgrace.
Ooh, are we going to have a Les Mis off?
No, this is about...
You guys want some Les Mis trivia? Because I don't know anything about it.
Actually... That was Phantom.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Phantom
fuck it. I don't do musicals.
Well, see, this is why I like both of you, because I identify with Hugo's love of musicals, because I am also secretly a flamingly gay man.
Right.
And then I identify with Jake, because he loves history.
Yeah. How do you feel about sports? That's the tiebreaker.
I'm with Hugo on sports. I can't stand him.
What about Hot Pockets? What's your opinion on Hot Pockets?
I have been known to eat a few in my day, and they're not horrible.
Nah, you're Team Hugo. I got nothing.
Definitely.
Nope, that's over for me. How about moon pies? You said you liked them?
I don't mind them. I don't like them all the time.
Fuck. What is even the...
I'll eat that now.
They are really dry.
Oh.
I don't know if she'll like it, but I saved it for her nonetheless.
Oh, that's a sweet thought.
I'm a very kind boyfriend.
Yes, you're kind by giving her calories.
Yeah, well, that's right. Absolutely. She went to a wedding. She's been in a wedding for her friend. She was a bridesmaid. She's accepted this for ages, long before we were even dating. And so it finally came up. So she's gone for this whole last week. But the dress she got it from David's Bridal or something, and it was too big. And,
oh no!
Yeah. And which was surprising because she got a size that she thought would fit just fine. So she had to turn it in and get a smaller size. So she went two sizes smaller, and it was still a little big, specifically in the shoulders. So I offered her a bunch of junk food before she left. It was like, we can just plump you up and let you fill out that dress. She didn't do it, but
That's the best kind of surprise for a woman, to find out she's 2 dress sizes smaller.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think that was probably, like, that sounds like a thing you'd want to hear, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy a lot of dresses, but when I do, I hope I'm too small for it.
I don't think you...
In
By definition, I don't think you've ever been...
I've been in a dress at my skinniest, and I was a skinny high schooler. It didn't work. I have wide shoulders. I'm not built for dresses.
No.
I'm a bad drag queen.
Were you a linebacker?
You just
I was
haven't
a
found the
linebacker.
right
I was
dress.
going to say, I've never thought about it before, but
No,
you
I
were
was-
probably a linebacker.
I was a
weren't you?
linebacker and a basketball player. I played sports, and then I snapped my leg and got fat.
Yeah.
So we good now.
Isn't that like all football players?
Yes.
Isn't that how
Pretty
they
much.
all
if
end
you
up?
don't, If you don't get hurt, you can still maintain your lifestyle.
Yeah.
If you do, it hurts to work out. So yeah.
Aw,
And I mean, on
Cheape.
top of that, you just get lazy after high school. So now it just snowballs. So
Well, and you have a job that encourages desk work, so
Yeah.
that doesn't help either.
yeah, not great, but shouldn't be terrible forever. So that's good. But I've been mowing my lawn recently, and I really like doing that. I found out that I am a middle-aged man. Do you enjoy doing your lawn yet?
No.
No?
Fucking sucks.
Because
You're 30, that's why. You turned 30, and all of a sudden you're...
No, I lived it before. Like I rented a house 2 years ago. It was the first like lawn I was responsible for. Really enjoyed that. Bought this house, enjoying that. Now I want a garden. I have strawberries in the back. I'm excited about plant growth.
I like doing my lawn because my lawn's like on a hill. Like my yard is like a hill, and the center is in the center of the yard. So when I'm mowing, I'm uphill like most of the time.
That's rough.
So there's your cardio.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's what I like about it, though. Like that's why I didn't get a rider, because I kind of like sweating in the yard.
Ugh, I hate it.
Well,
My husband is 43, and he doesn't like mowing his lawn either, so don't listen to Jake.
is it a rider or a pusher?
It's a pusher.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, you're not exercising in a rider.
I know you're not. That's why I like the pusher. But like, if you hate mowing the lawn, don't get a pusher, because that's what you're there to do for 3 to 4 hours from now on.
Yeah.
But so I had you know, when you move into a neighborhood, you find out who your neighbors are. I don't really I don't think I have a very welcoming set of neighbors in my very adjacent. The guy across from me is super anal. I saw him mow his own lawn yesterday, though.
Wow, for the first time since you moved in?
He forces his kid to do it constantly. And he's super anal about it. He's I don't actually know where you live. Do you live in a snowy place during the winter?
Minnesota, yes.
Oh, well, no, the snowiest.
Minnesota.
You live in Narnia, basically. So
Nowhere near as fun.
no. So very
White
snowy.
Witch isn't handing out candy.
So as a Minnesotan, how many times during the day during snow do you shovel your driveway?
Oh gosh. Typically, if we know that the snow is over, we shovel it, just the one
Yes,
time.
I know you do. I knew the answer before you opened your mouth because you sound reasonable. That dude's out there 8 times a day doing just wait. Just wait
like
for once.
Is it a blizzard or something?
No, I mean we had one bad snow this whole year. And, I get doing that, twice. If you have to be out in the morning, do it right before bed, and maybe do it during the day so it's not really fucking hard at the night. No,
exactly.
This dude constantly just upkeeping, and it's like, I know I don't like this guy. Fuck that guy. But I'm in Michigan. We get snow. I've been around. We wait until the end, man. It's fucking
you don't do it
Sisyphus.
during the snowstorm unless you know it's going to be a lot of snow and you don't want to have to deal with a mountain of it at the end of it.
Yeah,
then maybe once to make it
literally
not as
only so
bad.
you can be lazy later. That's the only
Right.
reason. Yeah,
Right.
No, this guy.
Yeah.
And of course, his son was out there doing it every time.
Oh,
'Cause he's,
poor kid.
He's got a teenager, so his teenager is much like Little House on the Prairie. He's there for labor. I had a dad like that too. But I won.
Oh, I had a mom like that. Before I could even reach the sink, she was there with a chair telling me how to do dishes. So I can appreciate that. My kid doesn't do chores yet, although he will for money.
Yeah, see, I like the incentivized, not the because I said so shit.
Right, right. It's like, hey, you want to earn $5? Why don't you do this for me, or can you do that for me?
Or just like when people are like honest and like, you know what, I would really appreciate help. I'm a little swamped today.
Right.
Come on, that's amazing. But I remember being like, hey, or my dad was like, hey, do the dishes. I was like, okay. And this is after, like, this is post divorce. I'm like 17 years old, and I have a car, and I got shit going on. Like, I'm an actual busy person, and now it's not necessarily important, but my time is being spent a lot. And so I was like, okay, well, I got something to do. I'll do it later. Like, that was my word. He's like, no, do it now. And I was like, nah, never mind. I'm not going to do it at all. And I just left. That's the last time he ever asked me to do anything like that. Yeah.
Your dad's a cunt, though.
Yeah,
so.
he's not a great one. Not a great one. Now, my mom learned shortly after that if she just asked me nicely, I'll totally do stuff for her.
Yeah.
Because, again, that thing in my brain that makes me very obstinate whenever anyone suggests I do a thing. No. So I'm broken.
That's not broken. That's normal. That's you demanding respect.
Yeah, I guess. But sometimes it's like they're not even being disrespectful. I'm just an asshole. Like, I totally recognize when it's just my fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can cheerlead just about any bad behavior, so, you know.
Oh, that's so good for me. You can adopt me too, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want, like I said, I wanted more kids, and Davey wants older brothers, so there you go. Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
And then in the summers, we can send him to live with you guys. You two can work out a schedule. I don't care who he stays with.
That makes Hugo and I like this really cute, gay yet platonic couple. Where we co-raise a child that should not be in our care.
I don't even like children.
He's like almost a teenager, though. He's well past being a child, you know what I'm saying?
He would be nothing but a profoundly negative influence
Absolutely.
on a child.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
But he would keep you to your diets.
Yeah, that's true.
Stick to your diet.
But we referenced the 90s so much, he wouldn't know what the fuck was going on. He'd be like, can you explain this shit?
Or he would just, like, take up all of your time talking about whatever video games he's obsessed with that week. That's his thing. All autistic kids have a thing that they obsess over. My kid obsesses over video games.
What's the poison of choice right now?
Fortnite. I'm guessing
Is it Fortnite?
God, I don't know.
Minecraft.
I don't think it's not Fortnite. He's kind of done with the Minecraft. I can't remember what game it is. I'm a horrible mom.
What's he playing it on? I'm gonna guess it.
I think you can guess it. It's Steam. Most of it is Steam. Okay. Some of it is PlayStation.
So on Steam, on the computer, I'm thinking something like Dota or Team Fortress.
Team Fortress. That sounds very familiar.
Okay. Yeah. So stuff like that. Yeah. I get that. So I didn't grow up at this time, but YouTube is obviously everywhere. You said you wanted to be a YouTuber earlier. Is content on the devices a problem?
You know, for him, not really, just because he's so self-policing that, like, he knows within the first 15 to 30 seconds if he should or shouldn't watch a video. I within reason. Obviously, there are some videos I'm not crazy about him watching, just because of the swearing and stuff. But
yeah, we're off limits.
You know, no, actually, you guys, I don't mind you guys. He has seen bits and pieces of some of your stuff, mostly the Bible Reloaded, because
Yeah.
you guys, your chick tracks jokes, just not child appropriate.
No,
at
I don't.
all.
You know what? And I'm so glad that you realize this, because some people say, "Yeah, I watch it with my kid all the time." Like, no,
Oh, God.
no, don't do that. They're gonna get in a lot of trouble at school when they repeat things.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. He knows what he should or shouldn't repeat in terms of, like, swearing. Like, he'll censor himself while he's talking.
That's good.
So he's pretty good about that. He usually just watches, like, Let's Plays, and occasionally he's into, like, the animated stuff, like It's Alex Clark and The Odd Ones Out. So he'll watch those. So, you know, he's pretty good about staying away from the stuff that I don't want him to watch, like the really... Well, I can't even say like really gory stuff because there's not that much out there right now. But you know, it used to be people still say it's the Wild West. It used to be a lot worse than it is in terms of policing for kids.
I think, well, yeah, because we didn't know what we were getting into. Like, I remember Rotten.com, and
It's still a thing.
yeah, I know, but that was like a destination. Yeah. Like, oh, there's this place where we can see stuff we're not supposed to see.
Yeah.
And our brains would be rotted.
Let's see if it's still there.
4chan was more of a your era thing, because that came out after I was out of high school, basically.
Yeah.
And
I've had to report actual illegal things on 4chan. I've only been, I don't go there often, but I've been there before.
Yeah.
I've had to actually actively report things that are, like, fucking illegal.
Such as?
Do you want to really know?
Yeah.
It was a video of an adult man pooping on a child.
That's no, not into that.
No, the baby wasn't either. Did not look thrilled with the situation. Thus me reporting it.
Good.
Oh, I'm glad you reported that.
Well, that guy's probably a fan. Let's be real. Poop on baby guy is probably in here.
Well, let me say this, sir.
God.
Not a fan of your work.
Not a fan of your...
You should probably turn yourself and your 7 hard drives into the authorities.
I just had a horrible thought that it was probably the same person who sent you the used ball gag.
Rip. No, that was a lady.
That
was a female fan. Did it look like there was balls attached to the person pooping?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so
right,
we can cross out that was the ball gag, unless... Well, okay, not necessarily, because she did write in the letter that it was her... she had gotten she had had a breakup and no longer needed it.
Yeah.
So I don't... Maybe poop on baby guy was her ex.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's his thing.
Ball gags and pooping on infants?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? You know, everybody's got a different boat that they like to float.
I can think of a lot of things I would like to be involved with in regards to infants, and none of them involve me being near enough to poop on it. All of them really have to do with it existing elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes you get pooped on by the baby. I know my husband and I have been peed on several times.
You know, at least that's not...
Maybe we're all wrong about this guy. Yeah. Maybe he's not
It was retaliatory.
Maybe he's not a pervert. He's a dad who's had last straw.
Revenge!
Yeah. Well, not a dad anymore. That CPS definitely took care of that.
Yeah.
Well, Hugo, you saved a life. and Poop Baby is probably a little grown up now. And he has you to thank.
It's only been like 2 years. It's Poop Toddler now.
Yeah. Poop Toddler.
Fuck.
That'll be his YouTube handle when he's doing YouTube videos later.
Like, how do you find that out about yourself and like have a normal existence post that discovery?
I don't know.
Lots of therapy and probably a little bit of drugs.
Probably a little bit, yeah.
And a lot of stool softener.
Well, yeah, because, you know, he's probably going to have to live that out in therapy later.
No, it's his fetish.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Like, Hitler was into that, too. It was probably the same
Yeah,
reason.
that's what I've heard through various documentaries.
How?
And of course you know Hitler didn't die in the bunker. You know that now, right? I mean, no, seriously, according to that, I think it's on Discovery or History Channel, one of the two, that documentary series, he didn't shoot himself in the head.
I thought they just released more tests on the skull that proved that it was Hitler. I know
Maybe
I read something similarly. I don't know.
Okay, I'll have to fact check that, because I would love to know that is actually the case.
He took a cyanide capsule and shot himself, though, I thought.
Yeah. It was to make sure that it worked.
Gotta double tap it.
Okay, I would love to know.
The German Shepherds didn't deserve it, though.
No.
No, they're just puppies.
But that was his mentality. If he can't have it, no one can. That's why he ultimately didn't care what happened to Germany either, because it wasn't going his way. Germany wasn't going to go to the gas chambers for him. So he didn't care. I know I said that completely wrong, but
the movie Downfall is really good, and it's all in German. It's like the last hours in the bunker, and him coming to terms with like it's over. It is over, and he's not getting it for quite a while.
The last hours in the bunker? Because did you know they spent like months down in those bunkers?
It's the last hours.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it cuts around. It might be the last couple days.
Sure, but like
it's at the point where like above you see them shredding documents. They're trying to get rid of as much paper trail as possible.
Yep.
But that's a really good movie if anyone hasn't seen that.
Like they basically like was Goebbels down there? I think Goebbels was one of the last ones down there. I think Goering was down. There was a few left for the inner circle.
It was the party leaders that were down
there.
Well,
there's a few that were definitely gone at that point, but just all down there with their like wives and children, and just being drunk because they were. That was it. That was the end of the road.
Yeah.
What a weird fucking way to go out, man.
I don't know.
And they were smelly and poopy.
It was the 40s. That's just generally true.
Nah, but
that's like general hygiene in the 40s.
Maybe I think that's like why Hitler was into it. You just like it exacerbates the sort of uncleanliness, but also it's sort of a poop has this swaddling effect if there's enough of it.
What?
He just pooped on his chest, and he's like, you know what? It's kind of like a little poop blankie. Makes him feel safe.
Well,
I just wanted to say poop has a swaddling effect. I'm not going to lie to you.
Whatever you say. Maybe that's what the guy was doing to the kid.
That's what I'm saying. It's a poopy comfort blankie.
Swaddling him with poop.
Okay, this has run its course.
Yuck.
Are there? So we're working on almost an hour and 40. So is there anything that you wanted to make sure that we discussed right before the end here?
You're
on the spot now.
I know. Well, here, you guys can give me some life advice.
Okay. I would love to inappropriately do that.
Okay.
Okay.
My advice to you is never, ever, ever poop on a baby. Not good.
Not once.
Not good.
Not
for
even
the
if
baby.
they look cold.
And do baby cats count?
No, they're animals.
You can poop on baby cats.
I would never do that. I'm just asking because I wanted to be funny, but
I like the idea that someone out there was like, just for a moment, wait, baby cats don't count? Close one.
Also, baby cats, not kittens.
Yeah,
that is weird.
Not kittens. Kittens is a different thing. For me, a kitten is... Well, no, for me, a kitten is like a stripper who, that's her name. Her name is Kitten.
Her name is Kitten. She wears a boa.
Yeah, to me, that's what a kitten is. So, baby cats are just baby cats because that's how I call them.
Because Kitten is a personal acquaintance of yours. You would want to get a mix
up. May or may not be a personal acquaintance of mine. I may or may not have had my mom may or may not have been babysitting this stripper who may or may not have answered the door once completely naked from head to toe to pay me for watching her kid. So, I don't know.
Was she
That's
trying
all
to,
I'm saying.
Curry clients? I don't like...
Honestly, I think she was probably high now that I'm older and, have a couple marbles in my brain. I think she was probably either really drunk or high, but At the time, I didn't know why she answered the door naked. I just knew that she did, and I was afraid to tell my mom because I didn't want my mom to stop watching her baby when I couldn't, so...
I'd like to think she was just like, what, I'm going into work!
This is my uniform!
You want me to put on clothes and then take them off before I have to go to work? Fuck you!
And of course, this is before, you know, internet days, so it's not like she could even say, oh, I was just doing a video or something. She couldn't even do that because, you know, that didn't exist at the time, so.
Okay.
But yeah.
Wait, do you want life advice? I will still give you life advice. I just...
Give her life advice.
Oh, I didn't think it was... I think she had a question.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to ask if I should be a psychologist or an attorney after I get my bachelor's degree.
Oh,
well...
Okay, well, I think we could explore this a little bit.
Oh, no.
What's your current degree going to be in? And what do you...
My bachelor's is going to be in general psychology. Okay. But I've also been working as a legal assistant for about 20 years, so... I'm kind of leaning towards law, but at the same time, I'm so sick of attorneys. I don't know if I want to be one.
Oh.
If you're already getting sick of attorneys,
yeah.
I would be wary of that.
Now, I will say, I think there's more money in that.
It depends. If you actually you get your PhD in psychiatry, and you can
sure. But there's a master's and a PhD to be had there. Though.
Yeah, that's what I understand. That PhD in psychology is. You know, it's pretty comparable. At least here in Minnesota, the starting salaries are pretty comparable. So that didn't help me make a decision at all.
Okay, so it's not about the money, it's about the love of the game.
What sounds more appealing? Going into work in the morning and either... I guess it depends on what specifically you want to go into as well. If you want to do sort of legal work in the background, or if you want to actually be an acting either defendant or prosecution.
Right.
Or... does it sound appealing to go into work and have sort of one-on-one sessions with people and talk about their problems?
Because you do both. I mean, you kind of do both. Lawyers do counsel as well,
sure.
So
yeah, they do. I mean, for me, I'm kind of on the fence about, do I want to help? Because I would be a defense attorney either for, definitely not criminal defense, but definitely civil defense. So I'd probably be working with corporations and stuff. Do I want to help rich companies and rich people get richer by avoiding monetary fines for what they're doing? Or do I want to sit down and tell the same person every week that they got to get their shit together and stop feeling sorry for themselves? And I know that sounds really simplistic, but that's kind of what I am trying to get myself to make a decision about.
Well, if you go for psychology, though, too, there's also, outside of even therapeutic settings, I mean, I know in this isn't necessarily, but if you get a degree in psychiatry, you can actually, or psychology, you can get jobs in, the advertising fields as well. There's experimental fields and everything that you can go into.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know. I, personally... This is just me. I majored in psychology, so I veer towards that, but that's just because I'm the kind of person who I wouldn't want to go in and... As an attorney, it feels like a lot of it's confrontational, trying to work on arguments against a thing.
Yeah.
Well, trying to take things apart instead of trying to build someone up.
And that's just a personal preference thing. For me, that makes psychology the more appealing thing, but it really depends on what you want to go to. I mean, some people would rather that challenge every day and that challenge of working on whatever case.
Yeah, but now one of my favorite history professors was a legal historian.
Okay.
And so she had a law degree. She had a law degree, left, went and got a certification to teach, basically.
Sure.
And uses her law degree in her history field to teach college. She literally wrote the book on women's right to work in this state.
Sure.
Okay.
And so there's not only one avenue for either of those. So if you didn't want to be in courtrooms, the law degree is still benefit. Or you could just be a Supreme Court person. Just just tell them you want to own the libs, and then they'll put you in the Supreme Court, and then you can make a swap at the end and save us all. There you go.
Yeah. I'll just go into politics.
Oh, well, you with a law degree, you could.
Yeah. Yes, I could.
Minute. Well, I mean, not necessarily. Have you ever been on reality TV? Because that also qualifies.
You know, no, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, me either.
I also don't look like a Cheeto, so I don't think I qualify there either.
Ah, what a bummer, because those are two things we got to count against you.
Yeah.
Have you ever allegedly assaulted someone sexually? Like just grabbed him right by the ding ding, or slip something into their drink, Cosby'd them a little bit. Because if so, you may have a career ahead of you.
Allegedly, I may have witnessed my Alexa just popped up. You can't hear her. I don't think so, but weird. Anyways, I was going to say, allegedly, I may or may not have witnessed my husband in post-coital cuddling. He may or may not have gotten a little bit of a certain bodily fluid on my cat's nose.
We can't top that.
Don't poop on babies, don't come on cats.
It's inadvertent.
It was inadvertent. It's not his fault that the cat was sniffing around down there. I mean, yeah, we probably should have closed the door, but...
Well, sometimes you don't have time.
Yeah, it was in the moment, you know?
Right, you got a kid. You got to take your opportunities.
Well, this was before the kid, so we really didn't have that excuse.
So, okay, well, maybe. Never mind.
We were younger and more carefree. And
younger and cats, just sometimes they get in the way of stuff.
Sometimes they do.
Hey, I'm not going to involve a cat, but if the cat involves itself, it's damned to that decision.
Do you still have that same cat?
No.
Oh, that was ages ago.
Okay, you heard it here first.
If it was before that, at least we're talking at least 11 years old. That's a kitten.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that cat was my cat when I was 16, so this is probably a year or two before we had to put him down because of kidney problems.
Wow, way to ruin that.
I know, I'm sorry.
Not you, him. Yeah. Is the cat still alive? No, that's a painful memory. Thank you.
Well, he lived a couple years after that, so I still think that
with no psychological issues, or...
like I said, I still think he, maliciously liked to poop outside of the litter box to punish my husband, or at least that's what my husband likes to think. So,
well, all right.
You know, Jackson Galaxy says cats don't do that out of malice, but who knows? Maybe. Maybe he was psychologically traumatized.
Either way, I'd look at that cat right in the eyes and say, I came on your face. There's nothing you can do to me.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
What is it?
I've won the moral victory.
You have the high ground?
I have the high ground.
Someone please make a Star Wars high ground with a cat with a little white speck on its nose.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, it was wonderful talking to you about your husband and the cat and that whole thing.
It's good talking to you too, and I'm really glad that my face isn't on this video now. Before I was just shy. Now I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just told the cat story.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad you did, because
because thumbnails.
It's the only time I've ever heard anyone. Maybe I know people that have done that. But no one's admitted to it but you. You're in rare company in my life. I'll never forget that. Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. This will be up in a couple weeks or so from the time you and I are talking right now, and.
Okay.
So if you guys are listening to this now and if you like cats, I'm sorry.
It was his choice.
It was the cat's choice.
The cat consented. Fact.
He was curious.
If anyone, your husband's the victim.
It was my husband. My husband was the victim.
Well, yes.
It was the cat who preyed on him.
Yeah, just ask your husband. You expect him not to come on a face that furry? Your husband's a furry, by the way.
Oh God.
Oh man. No, I'm not gonna go there.
No. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.